As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Uh, I had to go with Serena Williams. Man, what a legacy, what a history. 23 Grand Slam titles. Um, I think without a doubt, by pretty much unanimously has to be viewed as the most powerful, the most athletic, the most dominating force in women's tennis history. And you can make the argument uh, in sports history, right? Like across almost every different sport, have we seen one individual that was this powerful, this dominating individually for so long, and doing it through so many different things, a lot of different barriers, a lot of different um, you know, just situations that she personally fought through. 41, shutting it down after this year's U.S. Open.
Yeah, said she doesn't like the word retirement. Her career is evolving away from tennis. I loved how she put it. She not only is she arguably the most dominant female athlete ever, she is in the conversation for most dominant athlete ever.
Yep.
And the you mentioned the singles grand slams. Don't forget about the doubles ones. Those are important too. I think
No doubt. No
there's
doubt.
like 15 more of those or something like that, 14 or 15. So just incredible accomplishments on the court, but and it's similar. I think it's similar to Tiger Woods. Not his he clearly had just a massive effect on the game of golf, but I think both Tiger and Serena, and I don't know if there's a way to measure it, but the impact on minority involvement in the sport, right? Inspiring, black girls to play tennis. I don't know how you can even measure the impact she had, but I know it was significant. Obviously, clearly with what Venus and her did, but Serena in particular. So while I think the legacy on the court is obviously it stacks up to any legacy out there when it comes to sports, I think her impact on the culture of tennis and what participation in tennis looks like, I think that's massive and really the thing that is going to be the lasting, the most important lasting piece of her legacy.
I hope she pulls it off this last
That'd be
gets that.
sweet, man.
What the record's 24, right?
Yeah.
So to tie that, which I in my opinion she's already the GOAT, but that would be one really cool way to have that curtain call.
Yeah. All right. Who is your loser of the week?
I had to go with Chris Sale with the Red Sox. Just amazing. So the guy, he's already on the 15-day injured list after fractured his pinky. But he now has fractured his right wrist in a bicycle accident. He returned home from a throwing session Saturday and rode his bike to grab lunch near his house when he hit something going down a hill, flew off his bike, fractures his wrist. Now, I say he's the loser of the week because he missed all of 2020 and a lot of the 2021 seasons recovering from Tommy John surgery that he had in March of 2020. He's made 14 starts through the regular season and postseason across the last 3 seasons, which are the first 3 seasons of his 5-year extension that he signed. So he's totaled 57 and a third innings over those 14 starts. So here's the thing. I say he's the loser because he just can't kick the injury bug. But it's hard. It was hard to call him a loser because, like I said, he's in the 3rd year of a $145 million extension, and he's only thrown 57 and a third innings. That works out to $1.5 million per inning so far that he's made.
Sign me up for that, man.
which, he's a winner in that department, but hopefully he can get healthy and, geez, have some consistency.
Just don't ride a bike. If you're a professional athlete, don't ride a bike.
See,
Ride in a car.
we were talking about this before we came on. Like in the NFL, if you wreck your bicycle riding to grab lunch after practice, sorry, but that's not going to be covered under your contract.
Non-football injury list for you.
That's right, which receives no money.
Yeah. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs, checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnnie Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with Hard Knocks, Dan Campbell, whatever. Watched it last night. Him talking about dragging teams into the deep water and drowning them. Incredible. Him saying there's no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to training camp. Incredible. But the best quote of the night, and Aiden Hutchinson singing Billie Jean was fantastic, right? Especially didn't start well. He regrouped and crushed it. Very proud of that guy. But the quote from Dan Campbell, quote of the night from Hard Knocks. It doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass. I mean, just an all-time line, and Hard Knocks is back, Ted. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because I had a lot going on. I want to be able to sit down and really absorb it. I love Dan Campbell. Absolutely love the guy. We were in Detroit together, and the light at the end of the tunnel, that is so funny. I feel like he stole that from Rod Marinelli whenever we were in Detroit together, because Rod Marinelli, he made it a point, and this is back before any of the two-a-day rules or anything like that. He made it a point to make training camp the most miserable experience ever. Every single morning, he started off with a quick video of, what's the movie? Junction Boys, of the guys like running and jumping the fence to leave camp, to get out of camp and quit. He's like, don't jump the fence. Don't jump the fence. And it's so funny thinking about that. And the light at the end of the tunnel quote is just hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. But it's going to be an awesome season of Hard Knocks. I'm excited. But my winner of the week, Tulsa Little League baseball player Isaiah Jarvis, in just a touching sports moment. Now, I wish the Tulsa Little League squad would have won. I wish they would have beaten Pearland. That would have made the story even better. But remember, sometimes it's not just about winning and losing. And they lost 9-4, but Zay Jarvis takes a pitch straight to the head, right? Hits him right there in the ear protector on his helmet. The ball just got away from the pitcher and, smoked Jarvis right in the dome and went down, was able to collect himself, go to first base. Anyone, and that happened to me as a kid, as a pitcher, hit a kid in the head. It rattles you, man. And clearly the kid from Pearland was emotional, was shaken up, crying. And to see a kid that young walk over and give that kid a hug, tell him he was doing great, man. That's sports, man, right? I mean, sports.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, and love that it was an Oklahoma kid, which anyone who knows me, listens to the show, I always say Oklahoma is the center of the sports world. It always is. Here's another example of that. Fantastic. But here's the thing: you still got to throw at the next batter in the next inning, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to retaliate. No,
still got
that's
to retaliate.
awful.
You
We're
think that's
worst.
what he said? He was packing him on the back. Hey, man, it's okay. No, we're still going to throw at you guys next inning. But
it's like you realize when you step in that box, it's coming right at your chin, right?
Fair warning.
Just letting you know. It's fair. But it's been a long week, man. Long weekend, long week. That was, I feel like we all needed that, you know?
Yeah.
I wish they would have won, but I felt like we all needed to see that.
Very, very cool. Great situation. Which the one funny part about that was I love the kid that was on second base that as soon as his buddy got hit in the head with the ball was like, yes, because he's going to first base.
He's on. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's good. Just make if you haven't seen it, go find it on the internet. It's everywhere. Yeah. Isaiah Jarvis. That was really cool. All right. For my loser of the week, thought about going with the Chicago Bears. The Roquan Smith situation does not seem good. This is a guy that, remember he was on that Georgia defense when OU played him in the Rose Bowl. And when we were preparing, when you were preparing for that game, you're texting me going, this guy is insane. And he's an all-pro. He's arguably the Bears' best player on the entire roster. And he's requested a trade. He says the new front office doesn't value him. Not pleased at all with how his contract extension negotiation has gone. And remember, he is conducting his own negotiations. He doesn't have an agent. And I saw Ian Rappaport on NFL Network said the Bears, I guess, tried to put a de-escalator clause in the contract, tried to backload the deal. And when you read those things and hear those things, it feels like they're trying to take advantage of the best player on their roster not having an agent. And Roquan Smith, clearly, I mean, he took it personally.
Right. Well, you've got to be careful in those situations. Like, you definitely don't want to try and pull a fast one on someone, right? Not a good way to operate. Gives you a bad rap out there whenever it comes to other free agents coming to your space. If you're a GM, got to be careful there, especially whenever it's a player like this. Like, trust me, you don't want to just flat out give everyone everything that they want, but sometimes you got to massage the deal a little bit because you don't want your best player on the team saying, you know what, screw you guys, I want to trade, I'm out of here, I'm not signing with you.
Yeah, Ryan Pace, not a great look as the new GM. You pay your best players. You do it. That's how the league works. So the fact that, and anyone that doesn't know what a de-escalator clause is, basically that means the value, they want to put something in there that can drop the value of the contract if certain things happen or don't happen.
Yep.
Remember, this is the best player on their entire football team. I mean, no one does that.
Mm-mm.
So I couldn't believe it, and it just seems like that has not been handled properly by the new regime. And Eberflus, he's a defensive guy in the position that, like, that's where Darius Leonard, or he's going by Shaquille now. Shaquille Leonard played that position in that Colts defense. Like, it is a pivotal position that Roquan Smith, it's basically the position that drives that defense.
Yeah,
So
well,
Eberflus is probably sitting there going, "What the hell, guys? What are we doing?"
right, and that's the thing is you can't blame him. I don't know how the Bears work, but he may be like totally insulated from that decision and how all that stuff gets, uh, you know, decided upon. But I love that Roquan Smith is representing himself. I wish I would have. Um, just because you're representing yourself doesn't mean that you don't have one or a team of contract lawyers absolutely dicing through everything, explaining to you what every little aspect of that contract means, what they're trying to put in there. You just don't have to pay as big of a fee, right? And
Right.
and you can sit in there in the negotiations, and a lot of times it's kind of handled as you're almost a third party to the thing. Like all of the talking about you and your future's going on over there, and you're not even in the room. So I like it.
Yeah. Also thought about going with Taylor Gooch, Matt Jones, and Hudson Swafford, right? Live golf guys that they were trying to, they basically filed a temporary restraining order that would allow them to play in the FedEx Cup playoffs there with the PGA Tour. And the judge basically said, you guys did this to yourselves. Live Golf is paying you a ton of money. So no, which, all right, well, we'll see what type of impact that has on the dynamics between the PGA Tour and Live Golf moving forward. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Those guys can't be thrilled about that.
No, they can't, and I don't think it's the end of the legal issues between the two. But I thought the ruling was really weird. It's almost like, well, you guys are making enough money at Live Golf, like they're paying you a substantial amount, so you're not really. This hasn't hurt you, which to me, like that seems like a really weird way to enforce the law.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think this is the end
No,
of this situation. So we'll see. I'm sure an appeal is coming, but my loser of the week, the Jets, Zach Wilson. I'm not sure which one you would go with, but the news that Mekhi Becton, their just mountain of a man offensive tackle, has fractured his kneecap and most likely will miss the whole season. That's a big blow for that offense and a big blow for that team. Now they've got a guy that's played a lot as their backup swing tackle in Connor McDermott, and I saw that Dwayne Brown visited New York. He's I mean, he's just not the player he used to be, right? When he was at the peak of his powers in Seattle. But this is now 2 knee injuries, I believe, to the same knee for Becton, even though I guess they're saying they're not related. But this is a guy you took in the first round a couple years ago. He's a big man. Has now had a couple of surgeries. Just, you got to be worried about him, that knee moving forward. This is not what the Jets needed.
mm-mm. I know very little about a fractured kneecap. Now, is that like a
It's like
quad
your
tendon or patella tendon issue?
No, it's like the actual bone. So your actual patella. So your actual kneecap. He fractured his actual patella. So there's
Right.
the
I'm saying,
patella,
like,
which
how
is
does
the
that help though, or how does that happen? Is that an impact trauma, or that's what I'm wondering if it's like because of the quad and patella tendons right there coming over the top of it, like if that's like a separating issue. I don't know anything about it.
we any doctors out there, let us know. Let us know how what the most common way to fracture your patella. But yeah, it doesn't sound good, man. And when you think about all the resources, because the new front office of the Jets and Robert Saleh, it seems like they've been doing things the right way, right? And this is just, I don't want to make it sound like their season is just hopeless now, but when this guy is healthy, he's a monster,
Mm-hmm.
man. And to lose a guy that has that type of talent, that's going to be protecting your quarterback that you're hoping makes a jump in year 2. It's a big blow to that football team.
Yeah, hopefully they bounce back from it. Zach Wilson could use some good news and some good offensive line play around him to try and get that offense rolling.
Yeah. All right.